Hello everyone, I'm Suyang again, and I think through the previous two videos, you already know that how to deal with the first layer of the Rubik's Cube. And this part of the video is to introduce you how to solve the second layer of the Rubik's Cube. And okay, so let's check. Let's see how does the second layer of the Rubik's Cube look like. First, as I told you, because the second layer has four centerpieces, and they are naturally done, and because the position is fixed, so we don't need to put any effort in dealing with them. So all we need to do is just to make sure that 1, 2, 3, 4, these four edges are in their correct position. And in this layer, I will introduce you only one algorithms, and it's symmetrical algorithms. And this algorithms is about how to exchange the position between two edges from second layers and third layers. So for example, now I want to exchange the position of these two edges, and then I do that algorithm once, and then here it exchanges. The blue red is here, and the green red is here. Okay, so why that only exchange these two positions, or these two positions are enough for one layer? Because, for example, if I want to make sure this edge should be right, then I can just use the lighthouse effect of the centerpiece. I can check here is the red centerpiece and here is the green centerpiece, which determines that this edge should be a red green centerpiece, right? So where can I find the red green centerpiece? For the first layers, that is impossible, because the first layers, the four edges in this first layers are all done, and because they are in the cross in the framework, so it must have some relationship with the white color, and in here it is red green. That's the obvious one. And for the comparison of the second layer and the third layer, if it is not correct, it means the correct edge may be in the rest of the three edges in the second layer, but it may be in the four edges of the top layer. It is all impossible. It is all possible. So that means for our target edge, our red green edge, it has a higher possibility to stay in the top layer. So now it's obvious the green red is just here, so it's in the top layer. So then we can do so now the only thing we can do is just to exchange the positions of this edge and this edge, then our mission is done, right? But before I introduce you how to do with algorithms, I want to lead you to discover something more interesting, and that will be also very helpful for you to memorize these algorithms. This discovery is about the process, the algorithms we used in the first layer. The algorithms we used to make the corners, which is in the basic situation, to its correct position. Now, we all know that this algorithm is like down and hide away, back, right? And in the first layer, because the only thing we need to do is just to put this corner in the right position. But since we are now already in the second layer process, how about how about paying some more attention to other things? For example, we're in second layer, so we can pay a little attention to this layer. So after doing this before I do this algorithms, this layer is blue red, and after doing that, here is a blue yellow. The blue red is gone, but where is blue red now? Let's see. Where is blue red now, or where does this blue yellow come from? Let's see. Before I do the algorithms, where is the blue yellow? The blue yellow is just here. And after I do this process, the blue yellow is here. Before I do that, the blue yellow is on the third layer, and after I do that, it comes to the second layer. And similarly, before I do this algorithms, here is orange, yellow. But after I do that, the orange yellow comes up. So with the third layer, the third layer edge comes to the second layer, and the second layer edge comes to the third layer. So that means corner dealing algorithms we used in the first layer also have an extra effect when we doing that, is that exchange the positions of the edges from different layers. So that's a very amazing thing, and our algorithms in the second layer will also just based on this. So in fact, this discovery is kind of hard to explain and hard to memorize, and we can make up a story to show this process. Now this edge is supposed to be here, right? So we can consider that here is a traveler, and that is his home. So he wants to go his home. He wants to go back home, but he found that it is very hard to transfer from the third layer to second layer. And accidentally, this traveler finds that there is a car in front of him, and this car seems to have the similar purpose as he does. Because he finds that this car has a color from the first layer. So in fact, this car also wants to go home, and this traveler just trying to get a free ride. He gets on this car, and this car starts to go home. This car comes back home, and this traveler successfully got a free ride. He went back home too. So this discovery also we can name it as a free ride discovery, and the algorithms related to this one is actually also named as free ride algorithms. So now that this introduces you, what is algorithms? So this algorithms, let's try to find a traveler which wants to go home. Okay, this one is traveler because this edge has nothing to do with the yellow color. So for that edge, his home must not be the third layer. So, and we can check the orange blue, yes, it should be here. So now let's see. From this discovery, we know that if the traveler wants to go home, it needs a free ride, and If he needs a free ride, there must be a car. And obviously, these 4 cars are already at home. They don't want to go home, so they don't want to take this traveler as a free ride. So our mission is to help this traveler find some cars, not some cars, one car is enough, who is also going home. And if there's not one car, we can create one. How to create? If we directly pull this car up here, we will find that the seat of this car is not for that passenger. The seat of this car is here. So this passenger can't get on this car. The reason of this mostly is because this traveler wants to go home as soon as possible. So this passenger, he wants to get as close as he can to his home. What does that mean? As you can see that because this edge is orange blue edge, it has two colors, an orange and a blue. And now the position of this passenger show that the orange parts of this passenger has already matched with the centerpiece, has already matched with the lighthouse. That means they are kind of close now. But sometimes getting too close doesn't mean very good. Like now, they are too close, and so this passenger can't get on this car. So let's try. If we give up this position, we overcome the passenger. If the passenger overcomes his nostalgia, just for a little bit time, just away from his home a little bit, and then we help this passenger bring his car. Let's see. Is there any chance that this passenger can get on this car? Yes, there is. Why? According to the law of algorithms, we do the 2 steps. We do the upper face 90 degrees clockwise, and we do the right face 90 degrees clockwise. According to the law of algorithms, we need to do some inverse to make sure that the whole Rubik's Cube is in the balance, which means the total rotating angle sum up will be 0 degrees or 360 degrees. So we need to, just now we do an upper face 90 degrees clockwise. So now we can do that upper face 90 degrees counterclockwise. Similarly, we need to do a 90 degrees counterclockwise on the right face. So now it reached a balance. And then we can find that here's the car and here's the passenger. The passenger successfully got on this car. So this car starts coming back home, and after this car gets home, this passenger successfully got a free ride, and it also goes home. Let's do a quick review by looking through another example. Still, the first step is looking for someone who has a serious homesick, who is traveler. Here, that traveler is at home already. This traveler is not at home. So this traveler wants to go home. So first, he wants to get as close as he can. So the green must be matched with the green. But we all know that if it stays here, when the car comes up, it will he will have no chance to get on this car for the free ride. So he will ignore his nostalgia for a short while, and then we prepare the car for the free ride for this passenger. And then according to the law of algorithms, we do the inverse steps. Because we away from here, we do a counterclockwise upper phase. So now we do a clockwise upper phase. And similarly, we do a clockwise for the left phase. And then this passenger successfully got on this car, and and this car goes home, and this passenger successfully got a free ride. Let's do the last example. Here's a passenger, and he wants to go home. First, he wants to get as close as he can to his home. One of his colors is matched already, and then to get a chance to get on the car, he needs to ignore the nostalgia, means get away a little bit for a little bit of time, and then we prepare the car. And according to the algorithms, the law of the algorithms, this come back and this come back, and then this passenger gets on this car and gets its free ride successfully. So the algorithms I just now introduced is kind of for the basic situation. Basic situation means we make the edges on the third layer to the second layer. But if our edges are not on the third layer, they are in the second layer themselves, how can we deal with it? What do I mean in this situation? Because even though the edge is in the second layer, that doesn't mean the position of that edge is correct. For example, for this one, it seems like this edge is correct. This edge is correct, but when you see like this edge is red blue, but now in this position it should be a red green. So that is not in the right position. So in fact, this one also has problem. This here should be red blue, but here is red green. So now what we are going to do is just to make these two edges, which are both from the second layer, do some exchange. Do we need some new algorithms? In fact, we don't. When I was introducing you the free ride discovery, I tried to emphasize that this is discovery. When this edge takes a free ride, not only this edge has been affected. In fact, this edge is also affected. So that means this free ride algorithms actually gives us a chance to make an exchange of position between the third layers and the second layers. And now let's go back to this special situation. If this edge is on the third layer, for us, we already know how to put the third layer edge into the second layer, right? But the problem is this one is not on the third layer. So if we still use only one algorithms, how can we do that? you can pause here and think about it, and I will tell you answer in 3, 2, 1 now. As I told you, if this edge is on the third layer, we can deal with it and very easily. So how about put this one into the third layer? How to do that? As I mentioned, our algorithms is actually an exchange of positions. So in fact, if we do the algorithms, we can change our focus. In the past, our focus is on this one going to this position. But now we can do that. This one will go this position, which our first small purpose. Let's see. If we do the algorithms, away, up, back, back, take on the free ride. You can see that. Yeah, this one's here, but we ignore it. We don't care about that. Our focus is that this red blue one successfully comes to the third layer. And then the situation becomes easy. This one is the third layer and its home is here. So we can do the algorithms again. First, matched with the centerpiece, and then way, up, back, back, take on the free ride. It comes here successfully, and due to the position, we also change the position of this one and this one. So the green-red one also comes up after doing this algorithms. See, it comes up, and then it becomes much easier now. It's matched, and then away, up, back, back, take on the free ride. And now this situation is solved. And here at the last is another very small special situation. So this special situation is similar as the previous one. You couldn't find any homesick traveler on the third layer, and you found that the edge here has some problem. So in the second layer, it themselves have some problems. So even though this situation is not 100% the same as the previous one, but in fact we can apply the same routine to solve this, to convert this special situation into the basic situation. So I think you should know how to do that, and you can pause here and have a think about. And again, I will tell you the answer in 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now let's see. If this one is on the third layer, we know how to deal with that very easily. So the problem is still it is not on the third layer. So our work is just to convert this one to the third layer. How to do that? Use exchange. Use the exchange effect. So we exchange these two to make this one go to the top. And then after that piece, that edge goes up, we can easily know that again. Just do the algorithms, match, then away, up, back, back, take on the free ride, and then done. So in conclusion, that's just all about the second layer. And in second layer, now you should know how to deal with the basic situation, which is from the third layer to the second layer, and how to deal with the two special situations, which are both the situation about how to deal with exchange positions, between the edges in second layer itself. And the most important thing is that now you should know the law of the algorithms deeper, and in especially in the second layer, you should also consider about the amazing discovery we find in this free ride algorithms. That is really interesting. And see you at the next video.